Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of the first unit of the Globalization and Design course that we are having this semester. Last time, we saw a brief history of design focusing on some of the most important industrial design landmarks. Now, we will talk about the history and origins of one of the most important design approaches that we have, universal design. To understand the origins of this concept, we have to begin with his brother, twin actually, inclusive design. The history of inclusive design begins in the United Kingdom. The UK Design Council describes inclusive design as a general approach to design in which designers ensure that their products and services meet the needs of as many audience as possible, regardless of their age or abilities. Everything began in the European Union in the year 1990 with the right of access to built environments and public spaces for individuals with disabilities, and from then on, everybody began to realize the need of accessibility in every aspect of human life. The United Kingdom included access to services in the year 1995. And Europe included the access to information and related services via internet and communication technologies in the year 1999. Finally, the UK Equality Act of 2010 includes updates, simplifications, and reinforcements to the laws and regulations that will be implemented progressively in the following years. But those important days had a background called New Design for Old in the year 1986, and a program called Design Age, funded by the Helen Hamlin Foundation in the Royal College of Art, or RCA, in 1989, where we had things like these folding steps and this bread knife. The objective of this was to organize a program that could interest young designers in the needs of older people with one main phrase: design for our future selves. Everyone is going to get old. The abilities that we have today are going to change, so as Laslet said in 1989, we have to conduct our lives as far as possible, not simply in remembrance of our former self, but in the presence of our future selves. The term inclusive design was used for the first time by Roger Coleman in the year 1994, and the use of this concept has three main precedents: the Vietnam War from 1955 to 1975, the book Designing for the Disabled by Selwyn Goldsmith in the year 1963, and the Center for Accessible Housing founded by Ron Mace in the year 1989. Now, products like this wheelchair were designed shortly after that. Before this, wheelchair users needed to ask someone to fabricate their wheelchair especially for them. Those wheelchairs could not be used by anyone but the person that asked for it. And this one changed that. The last important precedent of inclusive design is Victor Papanek. And his influence can be established with his most famous phrase: designing for people's needs rather than their wants or artificially created ones is the only meaningful direction now. Now, he could be a subject for another whole video, but let's just say that he influenced the way industrial design is seen even today. Now, the origins of the application of inclusive design as a design approach can be traced back to something called the Case for Inclusive Design in 1994, and a program that started in the year 2000 called I Designed, developed by many important institutes like the RCA and the University of Cambridge, as well as design centers and the private sector, with the goal of creating a tool that could be used by industrial designers to apply inclusive design and beneficiate the private sector. So, I highly recommend that you search for all of the information regarding this program. Regarding the international dimension of this approach, this image can help us understand where are we now. In the upper part, we have inclusive design, mostly used by the United Kingdom. In the lower part, we have design for all, mostly used by Nordic countries. Design for all, it's public, governmental-driven kind of approach, and inclusive design, it's a more private-driven approach of design. And in the center, we have universal design. Universal design is at the center because he can be public-driven or private-driven, and he focuses on age and disabilities. So, this brings us to the universal design approach. At this point, we have realized that this approach is a global necessity, a necessity that began in the year 1950 at the European Convention for the Protection of Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms. 30 years after that, the year 1981 was established as the United Nations International Year of People with Disabilities, something so important that right away turned it into the United Nations Decade of People with Disabilities. I am going to stop me right there, because this is something that needs to be established. We have those kind of dates because we need them. They exist because it is a way to make the problems that we have as a society visible to people that haven't realized they exist, or to show other persons that they can do or be part of things that they don't know they can or they think they can't. So, whenever you see a date like this one, or the International Women's Day, or the National or International Women Physicians Day, or the International Day of Peace, think about the problems that we had in order to have the necessity of establishing dates like those ones. See if they have been solved, and if not, be part of the solution. Now, let's get back to the history of universal design unit of this video. And from then on, everyone realized that universal design was something that we needed to advance as a society, beginning with the Americans with Disabilities Act, with its set of regulations banning discrimination against people with disabilities in almost every aspect of society. Then, the principles of universal design were formulated at the University of North Carolina Center for Universal Design in the year 1995. The Council of Europe resolution states that the principles of universal design need to be introduced into the curricula of all occupations working on the built environment. That was in the year 2001. And the United Nations Conventions on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities enters into force in the year 2008. So, as you can see, inclusive and universal design arises out of a necessity of accessibility in the societies that we live today, from realizing that everyone is going to get old, to the reality that we have created on ourselves with precedents like wars, and finally the fact that everybody has the right to access and to use whatever they want like anyone else, fulfilling a social need as well as an economic one for every business to be successful. Universal design is here to stay because we need it.